So as of recent, the rank 1 Osu player by the name of Emmerich has been making a lot of headlines in the Geometry Dash community due to his insane progress. He has already beaten a lot of popular levels like Slaughterhouse and Cosmos, has reached near the top 500 leaderboards in the Points and Great Demon list, and can potentially reach the top 250 if he beats Tidal Wave, as he has been grinding that level for a pretty decent amount of time now. But with headlines like this, people have been realizing that transitioning from Osu to Geometry Dash can be rather simple, since you already have the fundamentals of clicking to certain patterns, wherein also you essentially use 2 fingers to even do that. Geometry Dash you use just 1. But what would happen if, let's say, the number 1 Geometry Dash player wanted to transfer to Osu? Well, first things first, if Zoink ever wanted to transfer to Osu, we would have to address the elephant in the room, and it's the fact that Osu uses 2 primary devices to play the game. Unlike Geometry Dash, which only takes 1 button on your keyboard to even play, and it can be rather one-dimensional, for Osu you need at minimum 2 keys to be able to play. And of course we also have the aim aspect of Osu, which can either be your mouse or your tablet. So first things first, let's address the tapping area of this game, which realistically, if Zoink ever wanted to transfer to Osu, he would probably be a single tap player. For those of you who don't know what is a single tap player, it's basically a player in the game that uses a singular finger to tap jump patterns in the game. You use 1 finger to tap nodes that are on their own and jump across the screen, while you use your other finger exclusively for nodes that are stacked on top of each other, which we call screams, by the way. And the most famous example I can probably give of someone who is a single tap player primarily is Lifeline, who is currently rank 8 in the world and can probably be counted as one of the best single tap players in the game. He has also previously peaked at rank 2, and he started primarily playing jump maps with single tapping, and I think he even managed to reach the rank 2 position while still being within that meta of jump maps. Over time, however, Lifeline had to get used to high BPM streams and eventually learn how to play speed maps, which nowadays he's actually pretty known for, since his top plays are mostly speed maps now. With that out of the way though, we have seen Zoink in the past play high CPS levels in Geometry Dash that mainly require 1 finger to play, of course, which leads me to believe that if he were to switch to Osu, he would probably use this tapping style, and he can probably adjust it to it pretty quickly, since he's already able to probably tap at high BPMs in Geometry Dash. So that's good that we have that out of the way, but then comes the other aspect of Osu, which probably will take a lot more time compared to his tapping, and of course we're talking about his aiming ability. Now for aiming in Osu, people primarily use one of 2 devices. Either they use a drawing tablet or they use a mouse. Realistically speaking though, if Zoink were to get a drawing tablet, he would have to get really hooked to the game, and I don't know if he really wants to do that, so let's just say that he will use a mouse. Nowadays it doesn't really matter what device you will use for Osu, since you can do a lot of stuff with both. For example, 2 out of the top 5 players in Osu are actually mouse players. But regardless, even if he does choose mouse, it would still take a bit of time for him to get used to the aim aspect of Osu, since it's not something that you can just quickly adapt to from another game, because Osu is sort of unique. Unlike most aim-oriented games that have a 3D environment for aiming, Osu is a 2D game, and 2D environments are completely different from 3D environments. Maybe you would have some muscle memory slash reflexes from like FPS games, but other than that, it would still take a lot of time for you to get used to aim maps, for example. That being said though, if Zoink were to ever play Osu, I think he would just straight up go for aim maps, or as we call the current meta, aim slop, which are basically jump maps that are nodes across the screen, but the patterns are rather simple and pretty comfortable to play, but at high BPMs it still takes time to get adjusted to. And if he were to combine this on top of his tapping style, then he would probably improve pretty quickly compared to the average new Osu player that just happens to want to play the game. I mean, as an example, we can take the number 1 Osu Mania 4 key player by the name of Saragi, who also wanted to switch to standard for a bit. Like I mentioned previously, Saragi did mainly play these types of maps that I previously mentioned. The only thing that he added on top of that is the fact that he also plays speed maps, due to the fact that in Osu Mania there's a lot of rhythm complex maps that require a lot of stamina, that also require multiple fingers to play with, which is why he probably didn't take a lot of time to get used to stream maps, for example, and play speed maps. And with that improvement, I think he managed to reach around rank 6k at peak. He's currently not playing Osu Standard, but even with him not playing it actively, he still managed to reach a pretty high level in the game. So if Zoink were to ever switch to Osu and take it as a somewhat serious side quest like the way Emmerich took Geometry Dash. I think that within a year and a half, he would probably reach around rank 15k, or at peak probably 8 to 7k, if he of course takes it a little bit more seriously than usual. And also, I'm not just basing this off of the Osumania player Saragi, I'm also basing this off of another player who happens to be really good at Geometry Dash and has gotten pretty good at Osu as well, by the name of Kaza GD. He is currently ranked 20 on the point to create demon list, and his hardest is currently Acheron, but he is mainly well known for being one of the verifiers of Angelicide, a really hard level in Geometry Dash. But this guy also happens to be an Osu player as well. He goes by the name of Sakupen Circles on Osu, and since 2020 he has been playing the game every now and then, not playing it as actively as some other Osu players, and at his peak rank he managed to reach the top 900 and close to the top 800 even. And his top plays are basically what I just said previously, the pretty simple jump pattern maps that I've talked about in this video. But yeah, those are my predictions about what I think Zoink would manage to do in Osu within a year and a half if he actually plays the game and takes it a bit more seriously. Now, whether or not he will actually do this, we don't know. He is still pretty busy with a lot of other stuff in his life, of course. Other than Geometry Dash and content creation, he still has to think about school and other stuff like that. So we don't really know if he wants to take the dedication to actually do something like this. But yeah, do let me know your opinions down below about what you think about this. Do you agree or disagree? And you can maybe share your opinion on your perspective as well, since again, this is just speculation. If you want to see more videos like this, be sure to subscribe and stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.